This is Millie Weaver reporting for Infowars.com, and I have some great news for you guys today. So, this is great news on the front for the pro life movement out there. The Ohio governor is set to sign into law the heartbeat bill. Now, this is a big deal because the heartbeat bill essentially makes it so that an unborn baby, the minute the doctors can detect a heartbeat, which you can easily do now via ultrasound, that baby now is protected. So that means babies that are typically about 6 weeks gestation are going to be protected according to this bill in Ohio. Now, obviously, you have a lot of leftists really mad. There were some protests outside of the courthouse, the congressional building here in Ohio, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot more. But what's interesting about this bill is we already have, guess who, the ACLU coming out saying that they're going to sue over the heartbeat bill. Well, we already know that the Democrats are going to try to challenge this bill in the federal courts. That's like a no brainer. But it allows for this issue to go into the courts again so that our Supreme Court judges, like Brett Kavanaugh and many of these other conservative judges, can actually look at Roe versus Wade again and hopefully make some changes there. Because we can't have just baby murdering in this country. It's too much, you know? And this bill doesn't ban abortion altogether. It doesn't ban it upon conception. It's banning it the minute you can detect a heartbeat. So that still allows for like a 2 to 3 week window for women to find out they're pregnant, and those women can still, according to this law, have medical abortions where they take a pill and have an abortion. So it's not entirely banning abortion, it's limiting it to a heartbeat. So that is a big pushback from where it currently is. In most states, it's 24 weeks. But in states like New York, or New York City, how they just recently passed that law where you can have late term abortions, for three reasons. They say if a woman has a medical emergency, or if the woman can say that she has mental or emotional, financial issues. I mean, they give a couple little exceptions to the rule for why women can have late term abortions. And what's the most disgusting, the other one is the fetal anomalies. But what's the most disgusting about this whole late term, third trimester trend is that in most cases, the babies can be delivered alive. The baby doesn't need to live in the mother's womb to survive. They are viable, meaning they can live outside the mother's womb. They can have a chance to live, yet these doctors and, I guess mothers can have the right to say, we want to end this baby's life for, an emotional need or whatever their reasons are. And even some of the things that the leftists are saying where, oh, well, what if the baby has a condition? What if the baby has, you know, let's say spina bifida or Down syndrome or something, right? Isn't that ableist? All these like Democrats that want to sit there and virtue signal all day and act like, they're for the underdog, they're for the minority, but then they're seriously talking about justifying annihilating an entire class of people because they're not able to do certain things. So, look, I'm ranting here, but I just wanted to get more into this bill. Okay, so this is the SB 23 bill. We know that Governor Mike DeWine is set to sign it very shortly. We know that the Senate voted 18 to 13, so it narrowly passed. I mean, that's a 5 vote difference, but it's still pretty close. Um, Doctors could face fines up to $20,000 if they, conduct an abortion and are found to violate this law. But the more important thing here is doctors can face crimes. Both the doctor and the mother can face crime and punishment if they have, conduct an abortion once there's been a fetal heartbeat detected. Now, I know from my own personal experience, when I got pregnant both times, because, I have a son and a daughter, um, I knew I was pregnant. Now, I know that's not the case for every girl out there, but ladies, please, if you're going to engage in the act of reproduction, you should take responsibility for your body and your actions. Meaning, if you know that you've been sexually active, then you should be monitoring whether or not you get your period and be keeping track of your cycles and everything. What we have here is we have all these rabid feminists that want to scream and shout and get angry because they say we're forcing them to not have a choice. We're forcing them to have a baby. Well, you did have a choice. You had a choice when you decided to engage in the act of reproduction, which was very likely to, make a baby happen. That was your choice, okay? And, you know, it is what it is. And these girls here are even given a window where they can do it up until about 6 or 7 weeks. Okay, so they can know they're pregnant and they can still do it. So that's one of the reasons that I personally think this bill is a good thing. Now it does say um, in here that let's see if I can find it. It was saying in here that they aren't allowing for exceptions of rape and incest. Well, that then we get into the philosophy of, should I be punished for the crimes of my father? Right? If you have an innocent baby who's, let's say, in the womb is about 15, 16 weeks, they got the fingernails, the hair, they're dancing around. I mean, this is what is in the womb now. Okay, you can see it via ultrasound. When people passed Roe versus Wade, we did not have the technology to be able to literally see what was going on in the womb. They used to try to tell people that it was almost like that the baby or the fetus went through an evolutionary cycle and that they weren't even yet quite human, because they looked different. They looked similar to how other fetuses in the womb look from other animal species. But now we can literally see in the womb the human-like characteristics that many of these babies have and how quickly they develop fingers, arms, organs, and begin to mirror human behaviors in the womb. So let's say we have a 15-week baby in the womb and it was it's a product of rape. The baby was created in an instance where the mother was raped. Should that baby then be killed and murdered for the sins of their father? That's the philosophical question here, that many of us have to ask ourselves. Like, should we be guilty for the crimes of our parents? And that one's the toughest instance. But here's the good news. The majority of times that these abortions are happening, I wouldn't even say it's good news, but the majority of cases are not instances of rape or incest. And liberals and Democrats want to use the exception to the rule to justify allowing free reign on abortion, so nobody has to be responsible for their sexual promiscuity or their irresponsibility. Nobody has to actually take action and live with growing up and being an adult and becoming a parent. Yeah, I mean, they just want free reign essentially. So let's go into Beto. you know Many people don't know that I confronted Beto. This video went viral, by the way, all across the mainstream media, and nobody seemed to really know that I was the one who did the video. But that's okay, because it still did what it needed to do. It got Beto to admit that he supports third trimester abortion, which this is what Democrats are now pushing for. They're pushing for third trimester abortion. Okay, they're pushing for, I mean, all the way up until the baby's born, that you can kill the baby. That to me just seems so ludicrous. Let's hear this, how he justifies this.
Yes. Are you for third trimester abortions, or are you going to protect the lives of third trimester babies? because, there's really not a medical necessity for abortion. It's not a medical emergency procedure because typically third trimester abortions take up to 3 days to have. So you would, in that sense, if there was an emergency, the doctors would just do a C-section and you don't have to kill the baby in that essence. So are you for or against third trimester abortions?
So the question is about abortion and reproductive rights. And my answer to you is that should be a decision that the woman makes about her own body. I trust her. So that's my answer. Yes, sir.
So babies should be killed?
How do we deal with the fact that the
So notice the cheering, okay? I specifically asked him about third trimester abortion, and he essentially just throws it out and says, oh, well, it's up to the woman and the doctor. It's her choice. And these liberals literally cheer. They're cheering third trimester abortion, babies that could be born and survive. So this is where we're at in our society and culture. I mean, that to me is disturbing. But what's disturbing also is the reaction from some of these leftists in this video where literally, they start screaming and yelling at me as though I'm this monster because I think babies should not be killed in the womb. I'm this monster because I'm letting the baby live. And although these people have their own interpretation of what a child's ideal life circumstances should be, and that if that child's, possible living standards aren't up to their standard, then we should just kill the baby. I mean, that's literally the mentality of some of these people. Listen to this.
answer the question? How many babies have you adopted? I haven't killed any. I've not killed any. How many have you adopted? How many have you adopted? You've adopted none. You're killing them, but slowly. You're killing them slowly. You're disgusting. You're a hypocrite. Pig. You're a pig.
Because I don't want to kill babies.
Oh, you kill them. You let them live so they can starve to death. You want to take away welfare. You want to take their mother's rights away. You want to kill them, but killing them slowly. You're killing them slowly, honey. You're killing them slowly.
Wow. Okay. So this is the leftist derangement. I'm killing the babies and horrible because I want to let the babies live. That's liberal logic for you. I really think that there's just like, at first I thought these people just mentally aren't putting two and two together. They've got cognitive dissonance. Something's not right here. But then after talking to many other liberals on this subject and interviewing people like I did here the other day on my video, Liberals Defend Third Trimester Abortion, I began to realize, no, these people actually are purposefully allowing themselves to believe that these aren't humans. They're not like us. They're essentially dehumanizing the baby to justify killing it because they don't want to have to live with the responsibility of being a parent, because we have this this kind of, where we have this society where we have so much luxury and decadence, and people don't, people can just try to live in this arrested development state and play video games all day. Nothing wrong with video games, but if you play it all day and you're not working, you're not being an adult, and you're not growing up, it kind of contributes to arrested development. We live in this arrested development society that just doesn't want to have to take responsibility, and they don't want to grow up. So listen to this girl.
You think that those babies could possibly just be delivered alive?
I think that's really the mother's choice. If the babies are going to have severe disabilities, I'm sure it's a really hard choice to make, but if the child's quality of life isn't going to be good, the mothers must feel it's better that way.
That it's better to just kill them?
Well, they're not alive, so.
Well, their heart is beating.
They're not alive, though. They're not a human yet, so.
They're not a human?
Not yet.
So then what are they?
Well, they're a growing human, but until they're born, they aren't, it's not killing an infant until it's
You
born.
think that until they're born, they're not actually, consciously experiencing anything?
No.
Like as though they're, in a coma or something?
Well, they're not, I don't know, their brains aren't even fully formed, so I don't know if you could call it a coma. I'm not sure what the medical terminology is.
So what do you think happens when they're born? Like, they just turn on?
No, I don't think that, but we're gonna go eat now, so thank
So there you have it. I mean, what do you guys think? Comment below. Do you think that this girl actually really believes that the babies just turn on magically? Or do you think that this is just them trying to essentially dehumanize the babies to justify killing them because they don't want to have to be responsible? I mean, are they just lying to themselves or are they lying to everyone else? That's really the big question. But all in all, to summarize, essentially this heartbeat bill is a really big deal. And we've been seeing this pattern where more and more states are now passing similar bills to protect unborn babies as early as, like we said, from when the heartbeat can be detected. So that means more states are going to follow suit, and we're going to have a big hearing on Roe versus Wade again. So just wanted to update you guys on this. This is Millie Weaver. Before I sign off really quick, remember to go to InfoWarsStore.com to support our operation because we are listener supported. So this is Millie Weaver signing off for InfoWars.com.